Hello to anybody who's joining me tonight. Got a bit of a sore throat, bit of a cough, so I'm gonna try to speak quietly tonight. Also, I normally have a lamp in front of me for my face, and just don't feel like staring into that tonight. So the lighting might look a little bit different. I've just got the lights overhead, which is making my face very shadowy. Hopefully, you guys can persevere and deal with the lighting, I guess, for one stream. So I've been playing with Spell Quellers and Teferis lately. See if I can make this look a little bit better for you. I move this over. Yeah, there we go. So basically, just can't see the quantity of the Hermit, but I've got one of those guys. So let's see. I just made a couple changes tonight. Everybody in the Discord today has been talking about the Saheeli Felidar Guardian combo, splashing red for a 2-card win condition, sort of combo kill. It's kind of a cool idea. The cards do things synergistically with the rest of the deck, even when the combo doesn't come together. Saheeli can just make a copy of Eternal Witness or any of our other sort of value enter the battlefield creatures. The same thing with Felidar, it's just another blink. But when they come together, they just win the game. So I felt like just a little while ago with this Teferi build, I had tried to bring Time Warp back into the deck, but then I think I just didn't draw it for like a handful of matches, and then I took it out and replaced it with Blade Splicer. Then I tried running... I trimmed a Spell Queller and ran a Whirler Rogue. Like, that card is pretty good. It kind of impressed me. It's flying Thopters that it makes. Pretty powerful. The thing about that card, though, is, if I can bring it up here, is it has a pretty powerful second ability. You tap like 2 of the Thopters, and then you make a creature unblockable. The thing is that our deck just doesn't really have anything that that's really threatening to attack unblockable. You know, we've already got some evasion between Spell Quellers and Ice Fangs. So tapping 2 artifacts to get in with like a 2/3 or something like that is just not that amazing. So when you end up playing a 4-drop and its ability is basically just making 2 1/1s, even though they're flying, not quite sure it's exactly where we want to be. But it did impress me a little bit the first few matches that I played with it. So the idea tonight is, can Bant run the combo with Time Warp and have it be good? You know, it was something that was played extensively when the deck was getting off the ground, and you know it relies a lot on Eternal Witness and looping with Ephemerate. But then you start to realize more with Time Warp in the deck, the importance of running some number of Soulherders. In the Saheeli version that we've been looking at today, the pilot just totally cut the Soulherders. So it makes it like just much less likely that you'll be able to establish a loop with Eternal Witness. If you have a Soulherder and a Witness on board, that's pretty much the same as getting the Ephemerate loop. So idea is, can we get away with not splashing red? Just run the 3-card combo. Having Planeswalkers does make Time Warp a little bit better. You get extra activations from your Planeswalkers. When you cast Time Warp, it's not just like another attack or another draw step. You do get to activate your Planeswalker again. So, pardon me. As I said, I have a bit of a cough tonight. So, there was a build, if I can look real quick here. A deck, yeah, it's a Time Warp Planeswalker Soulherder list that I think it ran like a bunch of Teferis and a bunch of Jaces, and then like the Time Warp combo. So if you guys are interested, come check out this list here. And that deck like top 8'd or something like that in a relatively big tournament, I think. So it definitely has legs. I haven't played with it in a while. I just feel like, hey, Liam, welcome to the stream tonight. I was explaining earlier that I've got a bit of a cough, not feeling amazingly well. And I normally have like a light in front for my face, but I can't stare into the light tonight. So a little bit more low key. It might be a shorter stream, but the idea tonight is I'm going to try out the Time Warp combo. After having all the discussion in the Discord about a combo kill, just feeling like this deck that's so good at just dragging games out, like putting flying blockers out there with Ephemerate, wiping the board with Winds of Abandon, we typically have time. We should really have some kind of over-the-top win condition. And Hermit can be that, but I've also found that I'll play Hermit and the opponent has, a pretty strong board, and I just end up blocking with Hermits for a while and don't get off the ground. Time Warp is just a legitimate sort of combo condition, so I think I'm going to play with the Time Warp maybe for most of this week and sort of see how it feels, but definitely going to just play it tonight and see how it goes. How are you doing, Liam? Liam Lollipop. I'm going to join a queue. And yeah, I guess I have to sit here and wait for a bit. It's the way it goes with queues. Oh, I found an opponent pretty quickly. All right, we won the die roll. And yeah, this is Keep. We're going to ramp into Spell Queller. We've got, if nothing else, well, let's see. We've got a fetch land that we can get back with Eternal Witness, continue hitting our land drop. So we're going to keep this for sure. It's a very nice hand. Pardon me. Something I didn't mention in the deck tech is that I'm trying Watcher for tomorrow in the spot of Coiling Oracle. I know that it's bad against aggro. I've definitely had some feel bad moments with Watcher, but if we're playing a combo build, Watcher just digs that much better. Oh, no problem, Liam. Don't worry about typing. I hope that your surgery went okay. So we're going to open up with Forest and Hierarch. And let's see what the opponent is on. They did mulligan to 6. Right. Okay, Swift Spear resolves. Alright, so far it just looks like regular mono red burn. So the Force could come in handy. I wonder if I should hold up Spell Queller here. I think I might just go Watcher Ephemerate. You know what though? I think holding up Spell Queller seems good because if they go for Eidolon, I can just grab it and then we can sort of hold up Force. Although, it seems I'm going to try this. I get blown out a little bit, but opponent probably not expecting Spell Queller. And if they go for like, the Searing Blaze, then I can just force that. She would probably hardcast Force. Well, definitely hardcast Force. Okay, I'll take 1. Now I have a feeling the opponent's going to go for Eidolon, since they would have played some kind of instant or sorcery. Kiln Fiend. All right, well, that's decent target. So this is prowess, not burn. So blue seems reasonable. Kiln Fiend does not have haste, so it's kind of nice nabbing it with Spell Queller. So it will, even if they deal with Spell Queller, it'll come back onto their side of the table, but it'll just sort of be out of commission for a turn. So we can also Ephemerate the Spell Queller. A Teferi would be great here. So got a land. think just running out. So if I play Watcher, I would need to find a blue card underneath to be able to pitch to force. I can definitely get in with Spell Queller here, I think. Not going to want to... Just play Eternal Witness. Yeah, if I just play Eternal Witness and hold up Ephemerate, then we've got Watcher to pitch to force. So Teferi would just be the nuts here if I drew it. Actually, Time Warp is getting to be the getting to the point where Time Warp would be pretty solid as well. Okay, Swift Spirit is going to resolve. Okay, they're going to have Trample unless I force this. They're down to 2 cards, and I don't really want them to have Trample, and I'd rather them not draw a card, so this seems like a reasonable thing to force. Going to be able to get Force back from the graveyard. Unfortunate I had to pitch the Watcher, but hopefully we can get some value out of this Ephemerate. Okay, so they have another... They already played their land, so we're just going to block an Ephemerate. Oh, they do have Trample, so blocking an Ephemerating doesn't really do anything. But I can get back Force. We are going to take a bit of a hit here. Yeah, just take the hit. Actually, looping does do something here since I get the Force back, so I will play it. Fortunately, well, I guess, yeah, this is fine. We're just going to get Ephemerate back. Teferi would be a good draw. Time Warp would be a good draw. So this is kind of what I'm talking about, like why I kind of like Time Warp in the deck is that this deck comes with like such speed and power. If we can just stabilize kind of like how we are at this point, then drawing something like a Time Warp here would just win the game. But for the time being, I think I can just attack again and then hold up Force and Ephemerate again. The opponent's gone through 2 of their Crash Throughs. That's one of the sort of sneaky good cards against us. Oh my god, okay. Well, I am just going to counter that. And we can keep getting back Force, so hopefully this will get us somewhere. Now, if I go to block and the opponent has like a bolt in response, that would just be pretty nasty. Now, it looks like they're F6ing, so I can dig it. Right, I do like looping Force here. 3 of the Crash Throughs are gone. Opponent's down to 1 card in hand, and we're just drawing towards our combo kill. Coatl's a nice one. Might just play that out now. I'll probably wait, I guess. I think I'd be happy just trading a Coatl for one of these Swift Spears. All right, Sunbaked Canyon doing work. Replacing itself, doing a good job. This Spell Queller has just been chilling out. Path is pretty solid. Can't get Now we can just start looping Path, which seems really good. Oh, that didn't do anything except blink blink the Eternal Witness. That was poor. Sorry about that. So opponent is F6ing pretty hard, so I'm just going to be a little bit greedy here. Yeah, I could have handled the Ephemerate better, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter too much. That's a really good one. Okay. Okay, opponent just concedes. So death by 1,000 little cuts. Force felt really good, and that was just pretty sweet. Spell Queller nabbing the Kiln Fiend was pretty solid because obviously we don't have cards that, like, our counterspell can only hit non-creatures, so being able to nab one of their creatures with Spell Queller was pretty great. All right. So in this matchup, I've brought in these cards before. It seems like they should be a slam dunk, but post-board they have so much removal. Like they bring in Abrades, and I don't know if it's just like opponents getting the nuts, but I like haven't been able to close out games with Worship and Stonehorn just because they'll just kill all of my creatures. Definitely bringing in Celestial Purges. I think I kind of want to keep in the Time Warp combo just to sort of keep feeling it out. Yeah, that was pretty solid. It's pretty dominating. So what should I trim? I mean, Watchers are pretty slow. It seems like a pretty clear cut. So if I trim those guys and then trim a single force because I'm going down on blue cards. I mean, I can't see Stonehorn being bad to bring in because he's got 4 toughness, so he blocks really well. And if they throw some burn at him, you know, that's pretty good for us. Since Spell Queller dies to removal and we need the Teferi combo, I think I'm going to trim like 1 Spell Queller and 1 Teferi. Teferi is best in this matchup because he opens up, he turns our Ephemerates on pretty much. Like if we try to Ephemerate and they have a Lava Dart or something, it can be like a pretty big blowout. Actually, Soulherder is pretty weak in the matchup. Maybe I should trim Soulherders instead and bring back some of these other cards. Even though they're slow, I think I'll bring in these 2 Watchers. I need some 2-drops. I don't know. Everything's still like experimental. Like how important these like certain cards are to executing the combo. So these are good cards, but I have no lands. Full mulligan. Now I've got a shock land into Hierarch. I mean, if I draw a land, this is fine because we go Hierarch. I mean, maybe not fine, but we've got removal, right? So I think I have to keep it even though it looks kind of weak. And there's no fetch to be able to recur with Eternal Witness. So I'm going to keep this even though it's rough. And they're gonna kill one of these Hierarchs. So Hierarchs are kind of like lands here. If they kill the first one, at least I might have a second one. Watcher can start digging for lands, I guess. Witness can recur the path, so I'll just pitch the Watcher, I guess. The opponent kept 7 pretty quickly, so we're going to really need this Hierarch to not die for a turn so that I have access to white mana. And we really need to draw land here. Ideally, a fetch land. Well, that's awkward. All right, so if they just Lava Dart here, I think the game is almost over, unless I draw land next turn. I'm on a mulligan, so they should definitely go after my creature here. My wife is home now. Hey. Okay, so bolting the bird. Of course, it makes sense, but as I said, we really need to draw land now. Two creatures, a bolt, two lands. Okay, well, guess this means I have to run out Coatl. Might as well do it on the opponent's turn. I'm kind of in a position where I'm happy-ish to chump block. Opponents almost certainly got more removal in their hand. Like I think they have a lot in the sideboard that they can pile in. So we just want to land off the top. Maybe just basic planes would be sweet. A lot of times opponents get scared of this card even when it doesn't have Death Touch. Stonehearter is interesting. I might just leave the Ice Fang around to try to block this Kiln Feed next turn. Just took 2 from these guys, so that was a good choice. All right, well, this is getting a little bit rough at this point. I guess I have to play Watcher. Hope that they're sitting on nothing and get a chump block in with Ice Fang. A lot of opponents don't understand that you can respond to the Hideaway trigger and effectively negate it. Let's see if this guy does. Okay, so there's a couple lands, but there's no white, which is really bad for us. And we don't have any more blue cards in hand. So I guess the clear choice is to take the Snow-Covered Forest, but I don't think that we're going to last much longer here. Obviously, I've got a difficult mulligan to work with this game, but being on the play versus on the draw is a big deal. So the opponent's just going after the snake here, which is whatever. They're going to hit me for a good amount of damage. Yeah, 8, and then I think I'm probably just toast. They're down to 1 card, but they didn't play a land, so it's probably action. All right, so we just didn't draw any lands. You know, we kept the the 1-lander with double hierarch. It was a shock land, so we'll be on the play in game 3. You could see how Worship is pretty awkward in the matchup. Like, they can remove our creatures pretty easily. Watcher just seemed pretty poor, so I think I could trim those guys again. Maybe bringing it to Teferi, get a bounce in with him. I just kind of like bringing back the 3 drops and power them out with a dork on turn 1. All right, we are going to be on the play. And this is a way better hand, even though we're taking some damage from our lands. If they don't, let's see. Well, I mean, we're going to have removal with Celestial Purge. I'm going to want to get some white mana, so let's see if they kill our birds or not. I can get Basic Forest, and then if I have to, I'll get Hallowed Fountain from Flooded Strand. All right, so birds down. Opponents usually play their creatures first, so we'll see if they go for Bolt or... They did get ahead there on... Oh, well, they play a creature. So we're going to get to play the Celestial Purge if we want. I think we're just going to pass to them, though, and see you know, what they do. That was a pretty good draw, because now I can just play this tapped, and I can either flash in... Coatl, or just play Purge. Probably just going to play Purge. Now we've got white mana. If they don't kill the birds again, we get to run out Stonehorn. And then we're an ephemerate away from shifting control in the match. All right, opponent has played a mountain. Here's another Swift Spear. Now would be a reasonable time to go after the bird, I think. But they're thinking face or bird. Like, what am I playing that they could care about? So, all right, no blocks. Let me act like I'm thinking about blocking. Like I don't really care about the birds. And then take it. And then maybe they'll throw it at my face instead. Well, they've got nothing. So since they're just passing, I think I'm just going to purge now. Excuse me. Purge is quite good in this matchup because it doesn't ramp them like Path to Exile. All right, opponent just passing. And I guess the play here is go Stonehorn, and the next turn we can do Eternal Witness, get back Purge. I think basic Island is okay here. It's the best choice. Okay, so no attacks for them next turn. We'll see if they hit the bird or not. If they don't, I get to do that line with the purge that I mentioned. Opponent played a land for the turn. Excuse me. Okay, Soul Scar. That's one of the least scary things we could see, I think. Would love to see an Ephemerate. I think I took both Soulherders out. Ephemerate would potentially establish a loop. 2 Ice Fangs is solid. So here, I think the line that I mentioned is probably best. I can go ahead and get another basic island. Going down to 15, it's turn 4. I've used a bunch of fetches, and I'm still at 15 life. I'm going to tap the birds in case they bolt it. Finally. And then it doesn't really matter, I guess, otherwise. Just want to make sure I have white mana on their turn. Now, they can deal with Eternal Witness very easily, but it's really just the buyback here that I'm concerned with. If we can deal with their threats, then we should be okay. Actually, Coatls have Death Touch at this point. Attacking doesn't really serve any purpose. Okay, opponent with 5 cards in hand. They're probably just looking for a good spot to start going off, I would think. Okay, tapping 3 here for Kozilek's return. It's sort of fine, right? It's not going to kill their creatures, but I'm going to be left with Stonehorn, and I can still kill one of their creatures. This does damage, right? So I should kill the Soul Scar before that resolves, so that Stonehorn doesn't permanently get -1 counters. And then I'm not going to block because I'll have 2 damage marked. I've still got a bunch of lands. I can still play out 2 Coatls. So this has 2 damage marked as well, so I might actually want to trade. All right, opponent passing the turn. Vista, not the best draw. I might run out one of these Coatls now, just in case I draw something good. That, for example, I can just play that. That's the better land to play. And I'll just pass. So we've hit a bit of a lull in our draws. Kiln Fiend. I mean, obviously another Witness is good at this point. We really would prefer not to see Lava Dart. Going to flash this in might seem like overextending into Kozilek's for turn again. So I might just hold it. I don't know. Purge is awesome. What a draw. It's pretty solid. All right, so pass back to the opponent. Let them go all in with their creatures. Not cycling Sunbaked Canyon. Now this Purge, when I play it, will, like, I thought a little bit at the end of last turn, and they might be like, well, he has another Purge, or he has another Coatl. When I play the Purge, that will, yeah, so this is great. It looks like the opponent is trying to go in. They're probably going to end this with a, like a trample spell, or they could. Should hopefully be able to deal with both of their creatures. So I still haven't seen any Time Warps. There was one, I think, in the opening hand that I mulliganed. I wish I could counter this, but I can't. I mean, I could go like Coatl and then try to draw Force, but still have 3 of my forces in the deck. It's going to resolve. We're just hoping for like 2 lands here, I guess. Okay, Crash Through and Sunbaked Canyon. So we got 1 land. Again, kind of wish that I could counter this. It's not the end of the world. We're still at 15 life. And yeah, that doesn't really matter either. Now we're going to take a bit of trample damage. Going to Purge this thing and then Death Touch this thing. They don't have any Lava Darts in the graveyard. Could have some in hand. It's a really annoying card in the matchup. Sorry for my monotone tonight. Hey DV, how are you? I do have a bit of a cold. For those of you who are just joining the stream, I'm not using this light that I usually have for my face because I just can't stare at that right now. This is sick though because now I actually think I probably shouldn't block and take 1 more point of damage, and then I can just Eternal Witness for Purge. Although trading seems fine here. I'll just trade, and then I can still get Purge back. Or maybe I'll get Witness. So I got green, green, blue, blue, blue. I should probably go get green. Just to thin the deck. I'm not super concerned with my life total yet. Time Warp is interesting. So yeah, I should probably attack. I can close this, I guess. So I should probably, it'd be nice if I had Soulherder here because then I can just lock the opponent out, but guess I'll Time Warp. Path is a good one, which means I can go get something else. I mean, Time Warp seems pretty good, right? Yeah. Or do I just get a Coatl? Seems like getting bodies on the board, drawing cards seems pretty good. I can actually use my mana this turn. Oh, hey, yeah. Neil, you suggested the Coatl, so yeah, I like the Coatl. So they just played this from exile from their Light Up the Stage, cracking their Sunbaked Canyon. That card is so good in this deck. Cracking that, okay, so you kind of hope that they play creatures at this point. Like, we can totally handle creatures. We have no forces right now in hand, so yeah, this is fine. Well, I'm drawing good cards, just not quite at the point yet where we can just kind of go off. Really just need an Ephemerate off the top. Definitely didn't sideboard out any Ephemerates, so let's go Ephemerate. There it is. Pretty sweet. So this is kind of cool. Like, the first match that I've drawn Time Warp, I actually get to win with it. Hey, Mateo, welcome. I'm after all the talk in the Discord today about the Saheeli combo, just got me thinking about the Time Warp combo and how playing it, like, we've got Teferis now, so Time Warp gets better with Planeswalkers, obviously. Helps us tick up. It also protects the combo when we're going off, since he makes the opponent operate at sorcery speed. Opponent's going to let me play this out. That's kind of exciting. Excuse me. I've got enough chops that I can do this without timing out. You do have to be careful with what you click, though. Okay, opponent just conceded. All right, so got there. So, I mean, I was at 9 life, and I have no life gain in the deck, so the opponent could just draw 3 lightning bolts and just kill me. I mean, I was just chipping away for 1 point every turn. And I just top decked the Ephemerate, so the Time Warp was already established at that point. But that was pretty sweet, actually. That's the first game that I've won with Time Warp in, I want to say, months and months. And it was against a crazy aggressive deck. So, yeah, it's possible, for sure. It's totally possible, but I never feel great against a deck like this. They've got 3 cards in hand. I've got all the removal that I need. These cards came later, but I don't know. It seems to me like a bit of a stretch to say that the game was won. The Ephemerate definitely helped because I could just get removal every turn. But I think it was really the Ephemerate that won the game. But the Time Warp definitely didn't hurt. Well, Queller is not the most amazing thing here because, again, like 1 bolt, they just get to recast their spell. So bolt is still, I mean, I guess it's 1 getting thrown at my face instead of, sorry, getting thrown at Queller instead of at my face, but then the spell that they cast at first gets recast. Anyhow, yeah, that was pretty awesome. So I guess I'll show you guys the list. I see there are a couple of you with me now. I think earlier it was just Liam for a little bit. After all the discussion in the Discord about the Saheeli version, I was just thinking, like, the deck is so dirtily Like, we often get to like turn 15, even against aggressive decks, because things stall out. In the past, ways to close out a game are like land Soulherder and then Winds of Abandon. Excuse me. Get in with Exalted with like a single flyer. Things that take like 5 turns. I mean, you can land a Hermit. That doesn't always get there, but it's certainly a good option. So if we're going to turns 10, 11, 12, etc., particularly if we're playing Teferi, protecting like a combo turn, it seems like it could be reasonable to just keep Bant, not splash a 4th color, not feel like sort of required to play 4 Astrolabes, and just try to go for Time Warp. So if I could show you guys this deck. So this was a list that top aided a pretty big Magic event, 400 players in Ghent, and it was running 3 Planeswalkers and 3 Time Warps. So I haven't looked at this list in a little while, but I'm running 3 Planeswalkers, but I just happen to be running 3 of this Planeswalker and 2 Time Warps. So the fact that the deck did this well means it has to have some legs. I mean, the guy got through multiple rounds to top 8. I can't remember if though I'm pretty sure when Nassif got to the finals of the Modern Challenge online, that he was still running some number of Time Warps. But again, I can't really remember for sure. Let's see. It's good to see you. I checked out your Twitch channel. Good quality, so accurate. Monday Night Soulherder. About to design BRB offline screen for your streaming. Well, welcome to the stream. I've got a bit of a cold tonight, so my voice might sound a little bit weird. The lighting is different because I can't use this light in my eyes tonight, so I've just got my normal overhead lights on. I guess maybe I'll play at least one more match this evening and see how it goes. So again, the idea is just that if we're gonna be dirtily, like let's have a way to just close things out that doesn't involve getting in with like 1/1s. And I definitely played Time Warp in the past and dismissed it because when you get it in an opening hand, it seems pretty terrible. But the deck needs some bigger and better win condition. You have decks like Amulet Titan that are just insanely powerful. They feel like legacy decks or vintage decks. Like our deck needs to have something unfair going on. I'm gonna fill up my water real quick. 1 second. All right, let's see. Playing against Anil, the opponent kept, and this is a beautiful hand. Hopefully we have a bit of time to develop it. Okay, looks like we will. Basic island. Oh, I take it back. But at least they're not going to be disrupting what we're doing, so we might actually have enough time. When does this deck not have... Oh, they're milling me? This is just mill. That's got to be okay for us. Wow, decent cards. So Spell Queller is going to be pretty clutch here, I think. They definitely have access to Drown in the Lock. Wow, I really thought this was Dredge. I don't know if Dredge runs Basic Island, though. Maybe Drown in the Lock on Hierarch? Okay, Fatal Push on Hierarch. So they're doing pretty well out of the gate here. This guy's cheeky. Getting in there with the Hedron Crab. All right, so I'm going to play Watcher for tomorrow. And then hopefully, having spent some removal, they don't have another one in hand. We can get some value out of the Spell Queller. Although I'll probably follow up with Teferi next turn and then bounce the Hedron Crab. Force is wonderful, like so super good. But we just need to get it out from underneath the Watcher at some point. What if the opponent knows what we're on right now? I hope they attack with Hedron Crab again. Wait, I'm sorry. They archive trapped me when I just searched my library. I didn't notice that. That's pretty rough. All right, so we're down below 30 cards again. Get in with Hedron Crab. Because they want to use it as a blocker. Time Warp might do something. Opponent has, they could have Drown for Teferi, so I might just want to hold up Spell Queller here. But if they have Drown, then they can just kill Spell Queller. Do I go, maybe I play Hierarch here. And then Coatl, we put our shields down for just a second. They could have another Archive Trap. Unfortunately, no way to get at this force right now. So if I tap out for Teferi and they have Drown in the Lock, that's pretty bad for us. But it also means that they have one less Drown in the Lock in hand, which means maybe we can resolve Spell Queller and then have it stick around for a little bit. So they do get to keep bouncing this Oboro. That's kind of cool. I think I have to go for Teferi here. I'm going to get basic. Oh, if they Archive Trap me again. I guess they would have double Archive Trapped me. Okay, so expect a Drown if they're holding it. Mission Briefing. Surveil 2. Well, I think this is going to resolve then, unless they've got a Force of Negation. And I will just bounce the Hedron Crab to draw a card. Archive Trap and Drown in the Lock in the graveyard. They put Archive Trap in the graveyard. That's interesting. Oh, okay. So I see how this is going. So they're Archive Trapping me. I gotta remind myself how this works. Choose an instant sorcery grave card and you cast that this turn. That card will be put in your graveyard. Okay, right. So they get to look at the top two cards. Any number into the graveyard rests on top of your library. So they put two cards in and they're targeting Archive Trap. So pretty rough. I guess Teferi will resolve here. Yeah, I guess I'm seeing the downside of Watcher. I kind of forgot that cards just stick around. Soul Herder's a way to get that out from under the Watcher. We're gonna have to win pretty fast. I don't know. This matchup could be great if we actually had forces in hand, but it's not going very well right now. Even if they don't mill us anymore, which they're going to do, they're going to mill us for sure. We've only got so many draw steps, right? So they play the crab, they mill me a little bit. Why does this guy always have this little triangle on him? I guess I can just Time Warp if I get the mana to do so. Oh, yeah. Things not going so well. Really need that force, and we should be able to get it with the Soulherder. So our life total doesn't matter, so we can play that. Now we can Spell Quell, but I think that just getting the force back seems good. Getting Soulherder on the table, take this guy up. We've only got, wow, I don't want to draw cards, right? So I need to win really, really fast. Taking extra, I think I'm just dead. I can't apply enough pressure. It's pretty stupid. So, I mean, like, can I not draw cards? I might have to say like none to the Watcher. So, oh, I guess I have to exile one. So, don't even know what I want. I think I'm just dead. Just gonna play it out a little bit. Path. I've got 5 mana next turn, but I think we're just dead. There's no way to there's no way to keep things going in our graveyard, right? Like, I mean, in our deck, like I can't put things back on top of the deck. We don't have anything like that. Yeah, whatever. The opponent can just play Oboro, and I'm just dead. So I'll just concede. All right, Blueback Mill is a legit deck. A lot of people talk trash about it, but it's pretty solid. I don't know, Liam. You say it should be better game 2, maybe just based on our draw because we know what we're playing against. Often I like to just bring in extra cards from the sideboard if they're good and not even take cards out, but I don't think any of my sideboard cards even matter. I guess they could be playing Mesmeric Orb, in which case Ceremonious Rejection could do something. Pithing Needle, I don't know. We could name like one of their fetches or something like that. Yeah. Skaya's Blessing in Modern, did it get like printed in with Modern Horizons or something? There was a guy on the Discord who actually had a singleton Emrakul because he kept running into the mill matchup. I might need to go down to... Oh, you know what? This isn't even going to help me too much. I need to actually check like the internet to see what formats it's legal in. Anyhow, let's go back to sideboarding. Archive Trap costs 5, right? So even though you could cast it for 0, it costs 5. It has the same casting cost as... Yeah, Neil, it's funny, like, I say something and then I look over and you literally always... you literally always say, like, what I just thought about. So yeah, 2 extra Disdainful Strokes, that's fine. We'll just hope that we draw good cards. It might just be a bad matchup, honestly. I think we need to... I was telling this guy who was at the Discord the other day, who was running Emrakul on the sideboard, that Mill doesn't exist on Magic Online. But maybe it does. Maybe it does. This doesn't look very good. I don't even know what I want to do against this deck. I mean, if we get rid of the crab, that can save us a good amount of cards, I guess. Yeah, maybe this is that guy. It could Spell Quell. They're going to have removal. I don't know. This hand seems pretty bad. What do you guys think about this hand? I mean, 2 paths for a deck that runs like 4 creatures. Pretty sure I'm going to mulligan. Yeah. All right, let's do it. All right, this is pretty terrible also. Mulligan. All right, this is sick. Let's do it. Keep these 5, I guess. Make it happen. Turn 2, bounce the crab. Turn 3, quell something. Are they gonna archive trap, like triple archive trap me right now? That'd be fun. Let's see. If they have push for hierarch, I'm gonna get a little angry, but Winds of Abandon. That's hilarious. Winds of Abandon. Couldn't possibly counter this. Oh my god. Oh, I guess they could possibly counter it. Whatever, opponent. Okay. Plan B. Lose, basically. Okay. It's pretty funny. Mystical Dispute into Collective Brutality. Lined up pretty well against the 5 that I kept. We've got outs to that. That's fine. Got Teferis and Vencers and whatever. All right, well, we're just gonna wait it out. Land gets back to Teferi. Okay. Let's see. Field of Ruin. Yay. If they just like if they drown, all right, let's see what we can do here. Maybe I should get a land. I like Teferi's good though. I like Teferi. If opponent fields here, that I just get a plains. Pretty simple decision. Okay, not doing anything. Interesting. Oh, what? Oh. Okay, -2. Excuse me. I was really hoping that they would field so that I could ephemerate, but they're not doing it. So, okay, Mesmeric Orb. Guess I could bounce that with Teferi. Maybe they have another Mystical Dispute. Maybe I just witness and get back the plains. Start. That seems reasonable. It's like nothing. It's such a weird matchup. Opponent could just have like 2 more Mystical Disputes in hand. Guess he could also have a bunch of archive traps. They can force the shuffle with field. Okay, that works. Maybe they're going for a Fatal Push here. No idea what's going on. Okay. Yeah. I guess like a force would be great. So let's let him put a bunch of stuff in my graveyard. And then we get to get back whatever we want to get back. So maybe like can do the Time Warp combo, but I'm going to lose to tapping out for Mesmeric Orbs. It was eight cards every time I tap out. Too many artifacts. We need Hurkyl's Recall. Once again, I don't really know that there's a way to win here. I guess like Deputy would be awesome here, so keeping that in mind. What else? I have to play the Ephemerate. I just don't know really what I want to get back. I get Time Warp. I'm going to lose. And if I draw a land, or I can get a land. I don't even know. Let's see. Getting a land seems reasonable. I could play something and hold up Disdainful Stroke, but tapping out is going to lose me 10 cards. Yeah, I don't know. Basic Island seems okay. Teferi bounce something, I guess. That looks terrible. So many triggers. All right. I guess I could Venser one of the orbs on their end step. Oh, but this is going to get exiled, right? No, it doesn't get exiled. It just goes to there. It goes to the graveyard. Can't even attack with the Witness if I Ephemerate it. So, back Ephemerate. Pretty sure the game is lost. So I'm just going to Venser and then Ephemerate Venser to bounce the orbs on the opponent's turn and hope that they don't have counter spells. They can mill themselves first. I don't know. We're pretty close here. Do have Spell Queller if I want it. Do have Disdainful Stroke. Could cast both of those things. Oh, you know what? I need to Ephemerate Witness to get back Venser. I can't bounce both of the Mesmeric Orbs yet, but I think maybe I could do it eventually. If the last card in their hand is Mystical Dispute, that's a pretty gigantic blowout. Yeah, that's true. But let's see, what are they're forcing the shuffle here, I guess. Maybe I should float something. Are they gonna archive trap me? Sort of okay with that. I guess I could I can't even quell it because it costs 5, right? Oh, but I have Disdainful Stroke, so I think I might need double white soon. Crypt Incursion costs 3. I can quell it. Seems pretty good. But then let's see. I think it's kind of my only option here. So now we can double bounce the Mesmeric Orbs with Venser and Ephemerate. Just not yet. We're going to take a bit of a hit here. All right, opponent's on 0 cards. Soulherder would be a good one, actually. To play Soulherder. Don't think I can do that yet. I just need to get Ephemerate back. I can't, bouncing this thing in response to its ability doesn't really do anything. So yeah, I think I just have to hold tight here. Oh yeah, Ensnaring Bridge is kind of annoying, but that'll get dealt with eventually. I can check their graveyard to see if they do have like Laboratory Maniac. You know what, I don't really care. Like if they have it, then they have it. Once again, Mystical Dispute is a bit of a blowout. Any counter spell is a blowout. This is oh, I can force. That's pretty sweet. I can blink Eternal Witness and get back force. Let's see if the opponent drew something amazing here. That is so ridiculous. God. So you know what? I probably should have just hung on. They were going to, I guess, pretty tricky matchup, I guess. But now I'm going to lose all these things. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the opponent has officially gotten there. They can replay out their Mesmeric Orb. The Ephemerate got countered, so it's not even rebounding. We drew a Force. We can pitch that to counter the other Mesmeric Orb, but we've got one card on top of the deck. So I'll just tell the opponent good games. So this guy is Sneal27, and we'll go ahead and scoop it up. So yeah, I'm not sure about that matchup. It feels pretty poor for us, actually. What would make it better? Anything good from the sideboard, I guess. But it's not really a matchup that I've been concerned with. All right, let me run to the bathroom for a second. I'm going to play one more match and then call it a night. 1 second. So I was just thinking, this version has to be much better against Mill than a version without Time Warp, because we can go for the combo, and if we have like 20 cards left in the deck or 15 cards, that's probably going to be enough turns to win the game with Time Warp. The opponent is putting a lot of cards into our graveyard, so if we get an Eternal Witness down, we can grab the pieces that we need for the combo. The problem in that particular game is that I'm pretty sure that they killed my Mana Dork. They had a counter spell for the turn 2 Teferi. They run a bunch of counter spells, and Mystical Dispute lines up pretty well against what we want to do in the early part of the game with our blue spells. So seems like a tough matchup, but I think the way to play it with this build in the future is just to go full on Time Warp if possible. Try to maybe even mulligan to that kind of a setup. Also, we didn't really see. I didn't look at their graveyard. Maybe I can go back to the replay. Oh, it's right here, I guess. To see how many Drown in the Locks we see. They probably play the full 4. It seems like a pretty good card. So between Mystical Dispute and Drown in the Lock, they're going to have 8 counter spells or something. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you have to hope that the cards line up well. So let's go and play one last match for the evening. Hopefully we don't play against Mill again. Might actually just wait for the opponent to join here, and then I'll jump in. Hey, iProto7. Are you the guy who was on the Discord talking about... Well, you shared a list. Somebody shared a list with one Emrakul in the sideboard. I don't even have an Emrakul online. I guess... If I'm expecting that same opponent, I could just put it in, but so how are you guys doing today? Where in the world are you guys? Are you in the United States or somewhere else? If you're in the United States, which state? I'm in New York City. Again, kind of not feeling amazing today. Have a bit of a cold. Let's see how much Emrakul costs. Online. Mine costs 3 ticks online. I could go grab one real quick, throw them in the deck. I'd rather not do that. Where in New York, Liam? Are you in one of the boroughs, or upstate, or Long Island? Yeah, I mean, iProto, it's just that I think the metagame is pretty wild right now, so I haven't personally been seeing a lot of artifact decks, so I don't really have any artifact hate right now in the sideboard, but if they become relevant, then I could easily throw, some Force of Vigor, or yeah, certainly Night of Autumns. Night of Autumn's pretty good because you get the life gain also. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and join here. If the opponent, if the Mill opponent wants to run it back, that's fine. We can all be entertained by how poor our Mill matchup is. Yeah, it kills an amulet, but I don't know. it's okay to kill an amulet, but I mean, if you're playing it on turn 3, if you're playing a Night of Autumn on turn 3, if you don't have ramp, I think it's too slow against amulet. If you ramp into it and you're on the play and you get it down and you kill an amulet, that seems pretty good. But otherwise, it seems pretty poor. If you're on turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, the opponent's already going to have 5 or 6 lands. And at that point, you're going to need something a little bit better than Night of Autumn, I think. Man, so not a lot of people around tonight in the queues. I mean, it's nice enough. It's just that, using the amulet example, you're not going to get value ephemerating Knight of Autumn. Like, you'll get value out of Ephemerating Knight of Autumn, like against Burn or against Mono Red Prowess or against Urza decks or other random affinity decks. But since Mox Opal got banned, I really haven't seen like a single Urza deck, I don't think. All right, so just waiting for somebody to join here. I'll go ahead and look at the list, potentially chat about it a little bit. Haven't resolved a lot of Teferis this evening. I do always like having that card on the battlefield. Makes Spell Queller so much better. Makes Ephemerates so much more solid. Even running out like Venser is so much better because you just know the opponent can't respond. Did get one Time Warp win. Not sure if those of you who are here now saw that win against Mono Red Prowess, but it seems like an unlikely matchup to actually win with Time Warp, but we got there. You know, like Eternal Witness just dies to literally all of their removal, dies twice to Lava Dart, but the opponent just didn't have it, and we got there with Time Warp, so it's a thing. The combo, it works. This is weird. So yeah, the sideboard was geared towards mid-range with all these Celestial Purges, aggro with Stonehorn and Worship, Tron with Ceremonious Rejection and Disdainful Stroke, miscellaneous Artifact decks with Ceremonious, miscellaneous Eldrazi decks with Ceremonious, and then Pithing Needle just sort of filling in a lot of the gaps. Helps a lot against control decks with Planeswalkers. Can even name like Celestial Colonnade. It's just kind of an all-around pretty amazing card. Names Engineered Explosives against decks like Amulet. It can name a lot of things against Amulet. It can name Tolaria West, so they won't be able to transmute if you name Tolaria West with Pithing Needle. So I'm really not sure what our plan is against Amulet Titan at this point. The deck just seems like a totally like another level above Modern's typical power level right now. It honestly, it feel like when I played it the other day, I don't know if it's just because we have this kind of dirtily deck trying to run, like a bunch of snakes. Like maybe Burn has a great Amulet matchup or something, but it was just unstoppable. Like I had basically, I think I had the like Stonehorn loop with Eternal Witness and Ephemerate and Soulherder. It was like just like they were not going to be able to attack. But now because they have the new Dryad in their deck, they can just well, Proto, how does naming Blaststone feel bad? That seems like a good target as well. Excuse me. There's a lot of creatures in Modern. I think I'm gonna risk it on this hand. Turn to Soulherder into like any creature seems pretty good. Like, if we play against humans, feel pretty decent with this hand. I don't know. It might not be good enough, but this list doesn't have a lot of 2-drops, so we're not, like, mulliganing to 2-drops like older lists might. This deck is trying to get 3-drops on turn 2. And we have a 3-drop on turn 2 with some removal in land, so seems like a reasonable hand. Urborg. Well, if they take, oh my god, they're gonna take Soulherder. So now we chill on our removal, I guess. Is this gonna be like mill or something? I mean, not mill. 8-rack. Like, there's not too many decks to play Urborg. It could be like Devotion. Another Hierarch is interesting. Kind of slow. Actually, it's not slow. It's actually kind of fast. I'm gonna attack with this Hierarch. All right, so I'm clocking them. They better have an answer for this this Hierarch. Yeah, so this looks like 8-rack. Yeah, there's Waste Not. All right, so we're not gonna cast cards if we, too many spells if we can avoid it. We want to keep some or play extra lands. Just keep those cards in hand. And if we can go another few turns. Still, they've got their plan going way better than we've got our plan going right now. Okay, I discard a land and they get some mana. That's pretty bad. Maybe they'll play Liliana or something. Maybe I should have pitched a path. If I pitch an instant, non-creature, non-land, they draw a card. Yeah, I'll pitch one of these paths. I don't know. What's up with these weird matchups? Oh, we have no graveyard hate to take care of stuff like Raven's Crime. If the opponent plays Liliana and minuses, we can still kill her with the leftover Hierarch. But they're going to make me discard. And I guess I get rid of a path. Because I'd really rather not give them 2 more mana to work with. But is drawing a card much better? Can't let this Liliana. This is so annoying. I just want to play regular Magic. Like, all right, I'm gonna give them some mana. Go nuts, opponent. That was a good draw. That was a really, really, really good draw. So now I'm going to flash Inkwattle. It gets in with double Exalted, and we can maybe draw Ephemerate off of the Coatl. Actually, like, Ephemerate here would pretty much get us like right back in the game, I think. Nah. I'd almost rather not draw something here. Because I feed Waste Not. Ah, it's a good one. What do they get if I discard a creature? They make a zombie. But I've got flying, so it's all good. I just need them to not have removal. And we should be sort of okay. Well, they just sacked Liliana, so... Another Liliana? Yikes. If they minus again, though, she still dies. So... this is annoying. My opponent's just top decking, so... I don't know. With so little mana... If they minus Lily, I think we have to just sack the Coatl. Oh, God. So miserable. If they minus this Lily now, I think they probably should. They're in a pretty good spot. They'll just scoop. This has been ridiculous. And they plus, I think they should have minused. Not that it matters a ton. We could still do stuff like Coatl into land. All right, so I'm gonna scoop and see if there's anything that I could do against this deck. Disdainful Stroke's not gonna do well. I guess I can bring in a couple of Ceremonious Rejections. Pithing Needle, naming Liliana seems okay. Also names Mutavault. Celestial Purge is awesome. Do we want 4? They're probably going to bring in other Lilianas. Seems like it's okay. I think the rack does damage, right? So maybe worship is good. They seem pretty good at dealing with my creatures. No, I want to look at not worship, but the rack. I think the black enchantment does loss of life, but the rack does damage. What is the black rack called? Yep, it does seem pretty nice. I agree. The enchantment is called. I can't. I'm so tired. All right, what are we taking out? Watcher seems good. They're not really doing anything at instant speed. I guess they get down. And a Snaring Bridge, I want ways to bounce it, but I guess I can just handle that with Venser or try to. Seems like Time Warp combo's not going to happen just because they're picking our hand apart. We're not really getting to 5 lands either, so maybe we just trim the top end. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. Like, these are just matchups that you don't see. The synergy between Spell Queller and Teferi is sort of trimmed, so I don't really know about bringing Ceremonious Rejection in. I guess it hits in Snaring Bridge. I probably have to bring it in. Trim one of the forces. And God, I don't know. One of the purges. They don't have too many black permanents, I guess. Oh God, for Path and Winds, guys, I'm so tired. Like, they have no targets. That's what I should have taken out. Oh, yeah, I can't keep this because if they go turn 1 Thoughtseize, they take Watcher, and that's it. So I should definitely have taken out Path. I'm so fortunate to not have drawn it here. I can keep this. Going to go Forest. Actually, you know what? They don't hit my life total, and I'm not really trying to get Death Touch online. So I think I'll get like Temple Garden, Hallowed Fountain, can pitch Birds, and I think we'll be good. So turn 1 discard. Hopefully it's Raven's Crime. We can just pitch a land, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have Inquisition or Thoughtseize, in which case we're losing that Coatl. Blackmail, huh? Oh, I choose the cards to reveal. Yeah, I thought in the last game about pathing in response, but it didn't really seem the best, but maybe it is. Just make sure I keep like hitting lands. At this point, like, that's the only thing Path does. So I'm going to reveal this card and this card. And I guess this card, whatever. Go nuts, opponent. Oh my God, okay. I guess they're probably going to have, they could have that card that blows up lands. Which, again, I'm too tired to remember what it's called. Spell Queller's pretty sick. Might just die, but whatever. Yeah. So we have quelled this spell for the time being. I think I took out Teferi, so the synergy. I only have 2 Spell Quellers in the deck. I guess we need to keep the card that draws me cards. Opponent does not know about this one. Ooh, hello. That kind of draws me a card. I think I'll go get that land that's chilling out. Opponent did choose that card. Unfortunately, if they Raven's Crime, it means I have to discard. Maybe I should just keep this land in hand for the time being so I can keep the Coatl. That seems smart-ish, I guess. All right, we've got a little bit of a clock. Smallpox, that was the card that I was talking about. All right, so like Waste Not, they can play here. They can play Liliana. They've got a bunch of lands. They can just go for Raven's Crime. Okay, I'm gonna tick her up. All right, ticking her down. It seems like deck synergy dictates that I have to sacrifice the Hierarch here. Like, pretty nice if I draw Ephemerate on Witness. Okay, so I do need to get blue mana. All right. Well, I mean, they could untap in like Damnation or something. But if they just start going for Raven's Crime, I'll play out the Coatl. So play out the Coatl in response to a Lily. Could draw a Force, or just let it resolve and sacrifice the Coatl. All right. So kind of our life total, I guess, kind of matters because they've got like the rack. Seems like blue, just regular old blue is fine here. A. Doesn't really matter what I take. Whatever I take, I'm just going to pitch. Although I can keep the Coatl in hand. I'd love to get Venser back. I can do that on the rebound if I hopefully draw land. Let's see. I'll just get Hierarch and pitch Hierarch. But they're just probably going to make me sort of multiple discard here. It's a very different game when they don't have Waste Not out. All right. But we do get the rebound, which is pretty awesome. And now, yeah, the race is on, I guess. So I'm going to ephemerate and actually play Coatl. Seems decent. I'm going to take damage from the rack, but could eventually grab Venser and bounce the rack. Okay. Loses 1 life, discards a card. So I'm going to have no cards to discard, hopefully. Well, I guess I will have whatever from whatever I draw off of this Coatl. And maybe I'm going to let this Thoughtseize resolve now, I think, right? If I can sacrifice Spell Queller. Spell Queller's a clock, though. Seems relevant. But the opponent takes 2 from casting the Thoughtseize. They can choose to cast it or not. I feel like they would. All right, I think I just have to get rid of one of the Coatls. They are on 0 cards now. Sacrifice a land. This one looks okay. Going down to 9. This is the 2-turn clock, so I think I might just not cast Ephemerate. But if they kill any of my creatures, I feel like I kind of have to blink the Witness. It could be wrong, because they could draw removal. Maybe this is passive. This is not the best. Ephemerate for another Coatl seems okay. I'm gonna keep that land in my hand, so a little bit more resistant to the rack. Shrieking Affliction, 1 or fewer. So I do have to keep these cards in hand. Only going to take 1 from the rack. Not the best draw for the opponent there. Keep the birds in hand. And then I guess I could kill my own Spell Queller or Ephemerate the Spell Queller. It's a little bit tricky. It doesn't force them to cast it. May cast it. Okay, it doesn't force them. Probably a little bit too tricky. I think we might have gotten this one. Let's say draw something that makes us discard 2. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I'm a little sick tonight, and my head's not in it. But thank you for reminding me. Earlier, I think I was resizing the windows, but now now you should be able to see everything. If you guys are ever watching and you can't see the tops of the opponent's cards or their clock, it just means that because of the way that I have Twitch set up with the frame, that I need to resize the window. Well, so Shrieking Affliction is a black permanent, but again, we didn't see too many of them, so I think 3 Celestial Purges is okay. It's a weird matchup. I think I'm just going to run it back the same way as last time. Oh God, I'm ready to go to sleep. I took a nap this. I woke up this morning at like 9, and then I went back to sleep and got up at like 2 o'clock. Path. I'm supposed to be good at Magic. It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, one land, no dorks. Got a mulligan. This kind of sucks against. There's a path. That's a dead card. And whatever. And keep this garbage. Pitch path. Keep 4 lands. Go get a blue land with this. Yeah. You got it. So let's go snakes right now. Snakes all day. Many snakes as we can find. Hierarch, not that great. Okay, so if they go smallpox, that's pretty terrible for us. Opponent thinking a lot about their land drop. I guess it's not the end of the world if they play smallpox. You can just get something back with the Eternal Witness. We do have a bit of card advantage, right? Like card draw in the deck between Eternal Witness. All right, you got me, opponent. But I guess I get to get the force back with Eternal Witness, and then hopefully draw a blue card on this turn. Those paths. Path is an excellent card. It's one of the most played cards in the format. Don't want to leave home without your Path to Exiles, particularly against 8-Rack. Alright, so now opponent goes to Liliana, makes me sacrifice my Eternal Witness. Yep. Created step trigger only opponents. What is this? Created step trigger. Never seen that before. Only opponents. Alright. Push is what it is. Still got some cards in our hand. Soulherder. Well, maybe we keep it in hand for now. They didn't play a land. Play Soul. I mean, I can hard cast Force, but not if I play out Soulherder. So I think I have to keep the land in hand and probably not cast Soulherder yet. Hey, just passing. I like it. Ephemerate, huh? Let's play Soulherder, Ephemerate it. Still don't like it enough to play anything out here. Opponent looking for that third land. Not finding it. Let's go snakes, come on. Double Soulherder. Yeah, still not playing anything. Cards in hand are pretty good against 8-Rack. Give me something to ephemerate. There it is. Loving it. All right. I don't know. I guess like land here is good for the opponent. Obviously, what's happening? Raven's Crime. We can. We've got this path to deal with that. Although I can just exile this thing right now. Seems pretty sweet. They're not drawing a lot of lands, but this card is super obnoxious. Although I'd rather force like Liliana or something. We've got some cards that we can wait, hold on. That we can afford to just pitch right now. All right, we're gonna ephemerate in response to that. And yeah, this is game on. I don't know. The opponent is. I could force this. Hold on. I should force it and then ephemerate. And get back force. And I'm still not going to take a hit from the rack yet. The opponent is denting my hand here, and we're not going to be presenting a clock anytime soon. The opponent's probably laughing at me for having Path to Exile in the deck. No, I don't think they can beat Leyline. That's why it's not really played, I don't think. Obviously, I'm fine with not attacking for the time being. Blue would have been good to be able to pitch for force. I still have an ephemerate to save one of my creatures. I'll keep that land in hand. And I can ephemerate now. Ephemerate now, I get a land. Well, I already have a land. Play a land, ephemerate, get back a land. I don't know. I'm just gonna chill. Just stock up on cards. Kind of like that my 8-rack opponent is getting screwed, because fuck that deck, basically. It's like, what kind of sociopath plays 8-rack? All right, there we go. Well done, opponent. Dead of Winter. This is unfortunate. But Eternal Witness can just build it right back. Gonna hold on to Ephemerate for the time being. Can't get Soulherder into the graveyard and then Ephemerate to get it back. This is fine, I think. Oh god, I could have kept Soulherder. Oh my god. Because they only have 2 snow permanents. They only have 2, so if I had ephemerated the honestly I don't think it's a big deal at all because of the way I'm going to be able to rebuild. I've still got force in hand, and I'm just drawing more and more great cards. So going to play Eternal Witness again. I'm going to get back Soulherder. Probably could have tapped this slightly differently. Maybe if I want to play this Coatl. Yeah, I think I messed that up. Oh well, not a big deal. And I think I'm still not going to play lands. I guess I could play a land. Yeah, that's fine. Did it? It didn't. Yeah, okay. Again, if it exiled my stuff. Yeah, it does slow things down, which is unfortunate. And I am behind on time. There's no reason for that. I'm just like talking too much. right, opponent about to bury you. Just need to not time out basically. All right, still not taking anything from the racks. Go ahead and get a hallowed white, white, blue, blue, green, green. Guess just more green and blue is okay. No, hallowed fountain. Can play Soulherder and hold up force here. Double Ephemerate is pretty good. But I do need to play this land. Yeah, I'm gonna counter that. That's fine. I can just keep getting back the force. All right, they conceded. So getting there against 8 rack feels pretty good. So we got to win. Let's see. I think I played 3 matches. 3 or maybe 4? I don't even know. I think it was 3. I can just check real quick. And I'm pretty out of it tonight. So let's see. Today is the 27th. So yeah, I played 3 and we won somehow 2 out of 3. It just feels like I've been like stumbling along like pretty terribly. Can't even remember like what. Oh, we lost against Mill, so that's pretty random. But we time warp comboed mono red prowess. And then, yeah, I mean, ultimately, it seemed like we have a kind of an amazing matchup against 8 rack because even I left in all these Path to Exiles and it didn't even matter. It's like every card that we play draws a card. So anyhow, thanks very much for joining me tonight, guys. Again, the concept with this list is that after playing like thousands of matches with various Soulherder builds, the deck is very clearly a grindy deck. It takes games to like past turn 10. And I think we do want, even though it can be clunky in the early part of the game, I think we do want some kind of just straight up combo win that just closes things out immediately. Deep Forest Hermit has a place. You know, it's also a way to close out games. But I'm enjoying the idea of Time Warp. I'm not quite ready to try out Saheeli yet, only because I don't think I've given Time Warp enough of a shake, particularly now that I'm running 3 Teferis. I mentioned earlier that Time Warp gets better when you play Planeswalkers because you get multiple activations. But that's the idea. Basically, I trimmed like some of my flex slots. I trimmed a Blade Splicer and a Whirler Rogue to fit in a couple Time Warps. And yeah, we won one of our matches tonight with it, so it felt pretty solid. When I drew it, it was never really terrible. So I'm trying to give it a proper chance in this list. I played it before, and it's pissed me off in the past, but I think it's a legitimate, strong win condition. 1 Fey and a Knowledge Pool. I don't think I know what you're talking about. Let's see. Knowledge Pool. Oh, God. Yeah, this is a Teferi combo, but isn't this a combo with the big Teferi or something? No, I think it is with the little Teferi, right? Yeah, so this locks the opponent out from being able to cast spells for the rest of the game, right? But why are you saying Fey? Is there another piece of the combo that I'm not thinking about? I definitely have seen this combo, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, so I guess if we're thinking about potential combo win conditions, that is on the table. But it's 1 more mana than Time Warp, I guess. Oh, Fae of Wishes. I could just run a second copy of So anyhow, thanks again, guys, for joining me tonight. Hope my voice isn't too weird, and I'll see you next time. Have a good evening, and good luck in your matches. I'll see you soon.